Math, Lesson 84, Part 2. All right, so let's start this off with fraction word problems using division. So give me a second to write the equation on the board. This is going to be in Part 2 in your textbook. A doctor divides 7/8 ounce of medicine into 5 equal doses. How many ounces in each dose? There's our question. All right, so these word problems tell about dividing a fraction. I'll read problem A again. A doctor divides 7/8 ounce of medicine into 5 equal doses. How many ounces in each dose? So you're going to work the problem and write the answer with a unit name. So I know what my problem right now for this one is 7/8 divided by 5. How do I rewrite that? Turning 5 into its reciprocal. I know that a whole number 5 is 5 over 1, which I can rewrite as 7/8 times 1/5. Now I can multiply straight across, giving me 7/40 ounce. All right, I want you to do the next one on your own. Once I have the problem written on the board, you can pause the video. So, a builder has 18/5 tons of gravel. She divides the gravel into 4 equal piles. Four equal piles. How many tons are in each pile? All right, so pause the video now and try to solve this on your own. All right, now let's check your work. You should have written out 18/5 divided into 4 equal parts. As we know, 4 is the same as 4 over 1. So now I can turn this into 18/5 times 1/4. What does that give me? 18/20. However, this fraction can be reduced. So, in order to reduce this, we want to go a step backwards. So before we solve this piece, we know that 2 can shrink both these numbers diagonally. So I know 18 divided by 2 is 9, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now I can work it straight across, giving me a smaller fraction. So, multiplying straight across, 9 times 1 is 9, and 5 times 2 is 10. 9/10 what? 9/10 tons. So each pile of the 4 had 9/10 of a ton of gravel in them. All right, so now we are going to switch gears into averages using bar graphs. So if you recall, doing averages is all the numbers it gives you divided by how many numbers it gives you. So you add up all the numbers you have and divide it by however many numbers you had. So, give me a second to draw this. Part 3 in your textbook, I'm just going to draw out problem A. So we have different people and lower, highest, and just below that line. All right, so this is height in inches of players on the Rockets team. So we have a couple players. We have G, player T, player M, player D, player F. Player G is 64. T is 68. M is 62. D is 72. Tall guy. P is 66. Now, you'll work these problems to find the average. Remember the steps. First, you add the numbers that you will average. Step 1, add numbers. You will average. Step 2, divide by the number of things there are. So, first you're going to add up these 5 numbers, then you're going to divide it by what number? 5, because the number of things there are, there's 5 players here. So, to solve that, you're going to add up this, and this. And what does that equal? 332. So this equals 332. And what am I going to divide it by? 5. Now you need to solve, which I will do right here. Five can't go into 3, but it can go into 33 6 times. 6 times 5 is 30. Gives me a leftover of 3. Bring down the 2. 5 can go into 32 again. 6 times, because 6 times 5 is 30. What's left over? 2. Can't go anymore, so my remainder is 2/5 inches. Is my average. Of all these 5 players, my average is 66 2/5 inches. So I want you to do problem B on your own. And you will be submitting this answer on Class Dojo for me in a message. So once you figure this out to problem B, you'll send it to me on Dojo, and that's how I will check your participation for the day to make sure you are following along. Now, let's move on to sentences, parts of a group. So don't forget doing the average. You add the numbers you will always add the numbers you want to average, and then divide by the number of things there are. So, moving into sentences, parts of a group. Here is what I'm talking about. 3/5 of the windows were open. So, you're going to say the sentence for the windows that were closed. So I know I have open windows, closed windows, and windows and all. So, what's my denominator? 5/5. Or my denominator is 5. Altogether, I would have 5/5 windows, because 3/5 of them are open. And I'm trying to figure out how many are closed. To do that, I want to start by doing 3/5 minus 5/5. windows and all. So all I need to do is 5 minus 3. I'm just subtracting my numerators. The denominator is going to stay the same because they're all fifths. What is 5 minus 3? 2/5 closed windows. Let's do a couple more. 7/8 of the students were sleeping. Ooh, that's not good. What's my fraction of students in all? Numerator matches denominator, so I have 8/8 students. So how many were not sleeping? Well, that's got to stay the same. What's 8 minus 7? 1. I feel bad for that teacher. All right, next up, let's do a couple more of these. 2/9 of the cars were black. So, I know this needs to be 9/9. Notice that. So I'm going to say cars. I'm going to say not black. That's got to stay the same. So what am I doing? 9 minus 2. 7. This is my answer. Because altogether, 9 out of 9, whole number. All right, let's do 2 more. Hopefully you're getting the hang of this. 6/10 of the doors were locked. Locked doors. So, I know in all, I'm going to have 10 out of 10 doors. So this is going to be unlocked. What is 10 minus 6? 4. What will my denominator be? 10. It stays the same. All right. One more. 9/11 of the trees were yellow. So I know I would have 11 out of 11 trees in all. How many were not yellow? Must be close to fall if that many are yellow. So what's left over? 2. My denominator stays the same, 11. All right, so up next, what we're gonna do before you, on your independent work, I wanna remind you for part 5 in your textbook. Part 5 in your textbook. So I'm gonna read the directions and then I want you to solve it. Find the volume of each figure. Start with the letter equation. So we know volume, for this is part 5, textbook. This is part of your independent work, but I want to get you started on it. Remember, volume equals area of the base times the height. So, remember, you have 2 different shapes here. You have cylinder and a rectangle. So, what you need to do is the first one for a circle or a cylinder, so the area of the circle is what you need to find first. Of a rectangular prism, like so. You're finding the area of a square. Remember those equations. Look in your book for those equations. We've done this multiple times. This is all a refresher. So remember, the volume equals the area of the base times the height. All right, so once you're ready, you may begin your independent work. Remember, it's due in 24 hours. And your independent work, so lesson 84, independent work. We have your textbook. Part 4 through 9. And workbook 4 through 7. If you have any questions, make sure you rewatch the video. And if that doesn't work, let me know so I can help you. This is all kind of refresher stuff. We didn't really learn anything new today. So watch some past videos from lesson 80. So you have 82, 83, and now 84. Use those to your advantage that you can rewatch them. Best of luck.